My name is Zach Pierce, and with me today we have special guest. Hel- Hello there, Ryan. How are you doing today? All right, just a second here. Try again.
Hello.
There we go. All right, we've got you. That was my bad stream.
It's all good.
Still getting the hang of this. So we've got Ryan with us, and Ryan, would you mind introducing yourself?
So my name's Ryan. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I make video games, and during the day I work on museum installations. And currently I'm working on a game called Button.city, which we see here in the background with all these cute little guys being animated and stuff. So
Awesome. Yeah. And we'll be joined in a little bit by Shandiin, who she helped with the art on this project.
yeah, so she's the lead artist and the coolest person between the two of us. She's my wife. And so she came up with all of the art and was the one who really started this project. And I do all the programming and we work on the story together.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah,
A variable power couple, as it were.
for sure.
Sick. Well, we've got Ryan here today. We'll have Shandiin in a little bit, I've been told. So, chat, if you're hanging out and you've got some questions for Ryan, please leave them with us here. And we will start with a simple question to begin with, the simplest of questions. Why do you make games?
Um, so it's interesting. When I was a kid, I was wondering like what I wanted to do. Like I tended to gear towards more like just creative endeavors in general. Things like writing. I was looking at either being a writer or a director or a photographer or something like creative, and that is like way out like unobtainable, and that seems to be kind of a theme. But like with games, like it really hooked me more just because like I would play them all the time and that's what captured my imagination the most.
Hmm.
And um I'm like I don't know completely like what really like grabbed me completely about them outside of like the pure um I guess exploration space of them in terms of not only can you do either story or visuals or whatever audio presentation, you could also explore things from an interactive design, whether it's through rules or how things move or are juxtaposed together. Just these ideas are really interesting, and not that I thought about these like when I was like 10, 11, or 12. Like I thought of these like more recently when I became an adult, but like as a kid, it's just like, oh man, kids or video games are so awesome. You could do so much with them, and I'm playing Zelda all day, and I'm like hanging out with my friends and playing all these games. Wouldn't it be cool to do that? And I wonder how I would do that. Um, so yeah, I think that's like the major reason why I make games now. Just because of like I guess the possibilities of the medium and where it doesn't have any set defined rules
Hmm.
yet that we are currently defining.
Cool. So it's a bit of setting the rules and writing the stories and crafting this narrative and this experience that you can't so much craft in real life, or can't craft as easily, we'll say.
Yeah,
Hmm. That's exciting. I definitely
yeah,
feel very similarly. It's the experience to create a world is what I always say. And that's it's no greater feeling for me. It gets me up in the morning when I get
I
up in the
feel that.
morning. Breakfast usually gets me up in the morning, but what keeps me from going back to bed is the prospect of making something to share with people.
A good bagel, always great though.
I was setting up a stream earlier today for some VR stuff, and I was ahead by an hour, and I threw together a
Mhm.
bagel just to, because I'm like, I've got 5 minutes to eat. What can I eat? So grill up an egg, grab some ham. It was really good, and then I had an extra hour to eat it. I want to make a game where you can capture it's that experience of being really stressed, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, it's daylight savings. I can sleep in. I can sit down with a good book. Like, I'm not sure if that's easy to capture in a game, but if I could, that's what I would do, I think.
Yeah, there's this like one meme online where it has Frodo like with daylight savings, where it's like, oh, daylight savings just happened, and shows him like drugged out from Shelob being like bitten by her, and then like the other time like he's feeling great because he got an extra hour of sleep. But I agree, like if we could get that type of feeling that we could convey, that would be amazing.
Yeah, just capture it and bottle it up, so anytime you could boot it up and be like, well, I would probably skip the stress part. I'd just skip to level 2, which is the relax.
It does kind of remind me of I guess like in Animal Crossing. So something that I would do as a kid with the original Animal Crossing on GameCube is that I really wanted all the songs. Like I would you can make your own shirt in there, and I would wear the shirt that I made that said KK rocks, and I'd make a little sign and everything. And he only comes out on Saturday nights. So in order to get the songs, you would have to plan your whole week. You know, like, okay, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try to get the song that I don't have. So you either like look it up somehow via strategy guide, or you just ask him to play whatever, and he'll just randomly pick one. But, you know, I was super impatient, as I think most kids are. They don't want to be like waiting for this. Like they found out rather quickly, myself included, that you could go into the system clock and just change it, and there's like no recourse for that, and that's absolutely amazing. Unless you forgot to save, and then you have to get chewed out by Rossetti, which sometimes, honestly, I would also just kind of intentionally not save just to see like what he would do, and he would threaten you. He would threaten you to delete your save and delete the town, and I got so sad because my favorite villager was in there, which was Bob, and oh my gosh, that game. Oh gosh, that game.
Oh man. I love that they did that. They could have done anything else. Just a warning on the screen that says, hey, you should save next time. But no, they invented a character to drive it home.
Yeah, like so much like personality, and like I don't know, I hope that I could convey like half of that in like any of my games. Like a lot of people say like our game looks like Animal Crossing. Like that's not entirely accidental, obviously. But you know, like if we could like get that charm in any way possible, whether it's this game or a different game, like it would be amazing. Honestly, I think I hear Sean now, so she's going to be coming in a couple minutes. So, hey, sweetie.
Let me know if you need to take like a minute break. I'd be happy to pause it for a moment. But until then, we can keep going. Let's see. Short says, heck yeah, I've been playing the original Animal Crossing on an emulation with save states and changing the time. Oh, I wonder if that gets around it. Or does Rossetti still pop up if it's emulated? Does he know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, do you have to actually go through the saving? Or like, oh no, the power went out, and then and then he wouldn't care. He's like, you turned it off and you wrecked the town.
Yeah. Oh, I've had the power go out with Animal Crossing, and you're so bummed because you lose all that progress, and then you're also like, and I'm gonna get yelled at, and it wasn't my fault. Ugh.
So Shandiin's gonna be joining us. Check the there.
Hello, welcome.
1 second, she can't hear you.
No problem.
Hi.
Hello. I'll be waving on a delay. All right. Short
so we were.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, really quick. So we were just talking about one of your favorite things, Animal Crossing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was talking to them about how I would go to KK's concerts, and I would be wearing the KK shirt that I made, but I would be impatient, so I would do time jumping.
Oh my gosh. I never time jumped, ever. I
Mm.
thought it was a kind of like a breach of ethics.
A breach
For
of
me, I don't know.
ethics. Well, you
gotta let the town live out as it should.
You played New Leaf,
Mm.
which gave you a bunch of like, niceties. I think your first one was City Folk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a lot of niceties. Like when you were on GameCube, that was like the game didn't do anything nice for you. It was a nice game, but like so many things New Leaf does just makes it easier to.
Mm. Right. Oh man. I think I started with the GameCube one. Yeah. I borrowed it. I rented it. I think I had a Blockbuster. They did this unlimited rentals thing from Blockbuster, so you could just
Mm.
get a game and then have it till you wanted to give it back as long as you paid the monthly fee of like $5. So I had that for so long. I'm still hoping for
Yeah.
Animal Crossing for the Switch, says Short.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
aren't we all?
She was so disappointed this past E3. I was like, they're not going to do it. Just chill. It's just Smash Bros. Just lower the expectations.
I got my hopes up again.
Oh, that's how it is. But when it finally comes around, it's going to be so thrilling. So thrilling, I hope.
Hi, Albert.
Hi.
Hello. You guys have stream cats too. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, at least one. The other one won't show up, probably. He's hiding right now, so.
Oh.
This is Auburn, though. Everybody say hi.
Hello, Auburn. Oh.
If you have any questions for Auburn, feel free to ask. She won't answer them.
Oh. Well, I'm sure a representative would be happy to speak in her stead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We've got a question from Discord. Oh, we got a question from the chat. What is Kitty's favorite hobby?
Oh.
I think it's bullying Berlioz.
Yeah. Well, she's always the bully. Berlioz kind of attacks her first. I think it goes back and forth. For me, I think with her, I think it's mostly cuddling. She's an aggressive cuddler. She doesn't know how not to just be up in your face. That and maybe food. I don't know.
Oh, eating. That's it. Eating.
Eating is a wonderful hobby. I feel like it's how I connect with my cats. I'll serve them breakfast, have a breakfast of my own, and they stop bothering me for a little bit.
They have an automatic feeder, and they just go run up. Cute.
Oh man, those looks. We've got a water thing that'll like do a little fountain deal, so you just hear it in the background. It's nice white noise. I should have it in my room to fall asleep to. But we haven't gone the automatic feeder route yet. So far, it's a can every morning, and we split it between the 4 of them. And hopefully they all eat. Because if they don't, I gotta try and find something else for them to get. Poor things.
So really quick, I didn't want to completely derail, but I wanted to give Shandiin the opportunity to answer the game development question that you asked me earlier, because I kind of wonder why she got into game development. Well,
yeah,
honestly. So.
Sure. So Shandiin, why do you make games, and how did you get into it?
So I got into games through Ryan. I was always an artist in graphic design. Kind of invited me to work with him on a project, and I kind of fell in love with it. But I've always played games, and it's one of those things that it bridges art and tech for me. So it's right up my alley. And I never planned on being a game developer growing up. I didn't even think it would existed as an avenue that I could explore. Right. So I'm glad I got to discover it and fall in love with it.
Awesome. I remember the moment in college where it was my sophomore year, I think. I was playing a game called Nitronic Rush, and it was just a little, I think it was a final project for a group of students at a college. I can't remember. The details are a little foggy, but whenever it starts up, it says made from scratch in C++. And I'd read that, and I'd move on, and I'd say, okay, that's interesting. But one day, it struck me they made a game out of nothing. This is a racing game with cars and 3D models and sound effects and lights, and I was dumbfounded. And right then and there, I knew I had to make games because I could do it. This isn't some pie in the sky thing. I didn't know this was an option. I can do it. So I know that feeling of realizing this is an avenue. This is something I can engage with people with and create and show people an experience. How cool.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like we've got a question from the chat here from Short. What improvements on the Animal Crossing formula have you made with button.city?
Ooh. So we do want to like kind of stipulate we haven't fully announced the game completely yet, so that you're here on the ground floor means that you're kind of an insider with us. And not in a creepy way, I
Exclusive
hope.
interview.
Exclusive. Yeah. So also another thing, it's not fully like Animal Crossing. There's not a real life day cycle. It's not really like that. Most of where we're drawing inspirations from is like the interaction with the characters and like the connections within the town. So it's a narrative adventure game, more about interacting with your friends in there and going along with the story. To the extent that is like Animal Crossing is very much aesthetics. Not that we wouldn't like to make an Animal Crossing like a Life Sim Harvest Moon type game or anything like that. That's just not necessarily fully the game direction that we're going with this one. But perhaps in the future, there are some systems in there that I feel would be in place in Animal Crossing.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the clarification. I feel like that gives me and our chat a closer understanding to this unannounced project.
Yeah, like unannounced. Like it's there, but it's not. It's like once we actually like do a trailer, I feel like it would be real, even in my mind, honestly.
Right. You've got to hit that point where it feels like it's there. You've made it. You've crossed that threshold.
Definitely. Is there anything for you on that question?
I don't think so. I think you answered really well.
Auburn? She's good.
She seems very content. All right. We've got a question from Discord. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I can help take this one too. What is it like to publish to Steam? When in the process should you do it? When should you start marketing? How long have you worked on games? All right, let's take that piece by piece. What's it like to publish to Steam, and when in the process should you do it? Have you guys published to Steam yet, or moved through the direct process?
For us, we haven't done any Steam publishing. We've had friends who have done it in the past, but us personally, we have not. Our past games have been on mobile or PC.
Okay. Let's see. I can probably take that a little bit then. Publishing on Steam is a nightmare. It's not a nightmare, but it's very involved. They ask for every little thing, like every shape image for the community, the taskbar, the games list. There's a certain amount you need to pay to get on there, so there's a barrier up front. And when should you do it? I would say do it as soon as possible. Not because it needs to be done quickly, but because it gets it out of the way and you get your own spot on the store to then release as you wish. Let's see here. You guys talked about how you're not launched, but you're launched, you're under the radar maybe a little bit. When do you feel like a game should begin marketing?
So for us, we are kind of doing like this grassroots approach where we're sharing our work and like we haven't announced, but we have a presence. So for us, it was when we started gaining traction with our posts. So Shandiin did a bunch of images that she just shared online because she thought they were super cute, and we didn't fully decide to make a game at that point. But we eventually did turn it into a game production process. So if you're indie, in my opinion, it's better to start as soon as you can in terms of at least gaining your core followers, so that when you do push out to a larger audience, there's some voice behind that as well, and it helps with search engine optimization and like just putting your footprint out there. Like if people could look stuff up and there's already a presence, it makes it easier, especially because nowadays the market is flooded. So for us, we were making a mobile game, and at that point there were 500 games coming out a day, and that's on mobile. For Steam, it's not quite as high quite yet, but it's starting to get there. So the fact that there's so many games coming out now and everything, that you have to at least start building an audience as soon as possible, even if it's not like a fully announced game, whether it's through your local community or anything.
No, that sounds about right. It just kind of depends on how. I know some people, they don't start showing their game off further along down the line when it's a little more complete, but it's like how comfortable you are with letting people into your development process. And it's a good point to get like feedback, or just like realize like if people even like what you're going for before you start investing a lot into.
I would probably agree with you guys. You want to start getting that growth. You want to start getting building any kind of community or attention as soon as you can. And definitely gauging audience interaction and what they think, because then they can shape the project and make it better in the end. So I think you've definitely got the right approach here. All right. I know we've got a few questions from the Button City Discord. I think they were donut related. I can pull those up real quick. God. Very important.
Indeed.
Let's see here. What is your favorite types of donut, respectively?
You want to go first?
Oh man. So there's this donut shop in town here that they make vegan donuts. My favorite, is the Boston cream donut.
Ooh. Is that anything like the pie?
Have we
what's
had
the pie? I don't think
I think
I've
there's
ever had pie like that. But it's like a stout little eclair, I think.
Okay.
It's just filled with cream.
Okay. I won't complain. How about you, Ryan?
So let's see. There's this like green apple, and not like the real green apple. I mean, real green apple's good too, but like artificial green apple tastes amazing. I love it. It's not natural in any way whatsoever. And but there's this again over at Rebel Donuts. They have this vegan green apple donut.
It's like apple strudel.
Yeah, except it's more candy-like, and gosh, I love it. I could get fat off that.
Oh, whoa! Is it a bit sour then?
Yeah, and that's like the main reason why I love it. I love sour apple in general.
Interesting.
Like if there's a sour apple flavor of something like sour apple donut, sour apple beer, sour apple soda, I tend to go for that. That's like my first choice.
Whoa. I don't think I've ever had a sour donut before, but that sounds like it'd be good. I wouldn't
if you ever get a chance, only get one.
Yeah, I would not complain. Let's see. I think I'm definitely, I like apple fritters. They're simple. I'm not sure they count as donuts. They're baked. They're sweet. They're glazed, but they're just something about them is simple and sweet. So,
they're within the pastry world.
They truly are. It's
Yeah.
the sphere really extends more than just a word. It's an experience. Let's see.
Gotta love that.
We've got a question here. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
So I looked that up because I don't know the numerical terms, but I do know the reference for those who were asking. I do love a good Monty Python and the Holy Grail reference. According to Google, it is about 24 miles per hour, or if you're non-American, 11 meters per second.
That seems like a lot. Holy crap.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Funny quick tangent about Monty Python. So I was working on a game called Poppycat Goes to Market. This was like one of my first freelance jobs. It's based off of this cartoon called Poppycat. And I was just like programming all day. And I would have like my second screen up on my laptop just with videos in the background, and I went on a Monty Python Holy Grail streak for like a week, where I would watch not just the base movie, I'd watch each and every commentary. I watched it in multiple languages. Like Monty Python and the Holy Grail in Japanese is hilarious.
What?
So yeah, if you ever get a chance, do it.
Whoa. What in the world would that be like? I took 3 years of Japanese in college. I do not understand it. But are you a speaker then? A reader, a listener? Or is there something about it that's just plain old
I
hilarious?
just needed something in the background, and I really enjoy Japanese, and I could have had YouTube on, but I was getting kind of tired of YouTube, so I guess I wanted to watch Monty Python multiple times over. So
And every version available.
and every version available. That was an amazing DVD. They also had like a Lego version of the Knights of the Round Table song. Oh gosh, that was a great DVD.
Like a stop
Yeah.
motion?
Yeah, it was amazing. Yes.
Wow.
I should pull that out. It was my first DVD ever, and I was so confused when I got it. Because it opens up with like a black and white 1950s like film, and I was like, this doesn't look like the film that it's supposed to be.
Oh,
And
no.
it fakes you out. It fakes you out, and I'm like, okay. And like, I didn't know it was supposed to be funny. I was like 10 or 12, like somewhere in that age, and I was just very confused. I was like, why did you get me this DVD? And then, like, I was telling my friends about it, and they're like, yeah, that's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's hilarious. And I went back and I watched it. I was like, okay, okay. And it, like, started, like, clicking in my mind more. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, man.
That is a unique experience. Oh man, they were I don't know. They were one of the biggest sources of popularized satire back in the
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
Now we've got so much these days. It's almost too much to keep track of, but they truly were a gem of their time and
Definitely.
still are today. Their
Mhm.
shine has not been tarnished. And now for something completely different. Is there
Uh,
Got him. Okay. All right. A question from Z Crozier. Is there any non-video game inspirations that you've drawn upon for your games?
oh, hello,
Oh,
Z
man.
Crozier.
Hi.
I think I know who you are.
One of the big ones. Okay, so big obvious one is cats. We just have cats everywhere. We obviously put cats in all of our games. But for Button City in particular, we're really inspired by like 90s kind of feel good straight to VHS movies, like the Disney movies. And we really kind of wanted to capture that like childlike cheesy feel in the story. So we're drawing a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah. Also things like just arcade culture, not necessarily like the games themselves, but the culture around it. Kind of, I guess, 90s style and vaporwave and lo-fi hip-hop that's popular now. And then, I don't know, just like what it was like to be a A Kid for Us. There's some stories in there that we draw directly from. Not that this one is explicitly in there, but like I used to play spy all the time, like try to sneak around with my friends and stuff like that. So stories like that where, you know, you're just like, you know, just like having fun with your friends, stuff like that. For me, at the very least, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. It's definitely apparent in the art here. I'm pointing to the screen that no one can see at the moment, so I'll point this way. Definitely apparent in the art up here. That inspiration.
I think it slightly shows in like my shirt attire as well.
Oh my god!
Yes,
like the jazz cup SNES.
Oh goodness! I remember when that started making a resurgence. That silly design. It's ingrained in my childhood, I think.
I might still have some in the cups somewhere.
Really?
Those,
yeah.
Let's see. Back in the day, those were worth, I don't know, like a quarter of a cent, maybe. Their value has to be at least a nickel by now.
I mean, that's like hundreds, thousands of a % increase. I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
If only we would have hung on to them instead of sipping our water and tossed them in the trash.
I know, right?
Or our pretzels or our goldfish. That's what we did. No, but I love the aesthetic. It definitely draws upon that kind of, that feeling, if you will. Like the carpet in the arcade there definitely gets me. It's something about these neon shapes in just a confetti pattern just screams 90s and childhood and hip, I guess. Was that hip? Was it ever hip? I think it was.
I think it still is.
I have a
All
small
right.
collection of arcade floors now.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go and I find one, I take a picture of it.
Yeah.
I think for us as well, in terms of like aesthetic, like there's obviously the 90s influence and like Animal Crossing and stuff, but we also like want some things to be open. Timeless is like a funny word, but in some ways that where it's like childhood nostalgia that can be kind of transcended between generations, like, you know, like getting together with friends, hanging out, and coming together for something bigger type of adventures. You know, like those are like the major ideas that we're trying to get behind for this game, where it's very much about like you know, like what is childhood like, and like what's it look like for these like great big things that look amazingly big, you know, with the glow of like excitedness or like the darkness of like the littlest things, you know, like, oh no, I dropped all of my, you know, like toys down like this I don't know, hole, and I'll never get them back, and like getting into that kind of like despair, you know, these like not that's gonna happen in the game, but you know, like just these like extreme like polarization of like nostalgia feeling, you know.
Man, I'm looking forward to this. That's for sure. Let's see. We've got a question here. I think this is very Splatoon inspired. All right, Octoling or Inkling?
Oh man. Oh, I haven't finished the Octo expansion yet. So I'm not sure what I would pick if I had all the options, but I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for the Octoling just because, you know, they're little I think they're kind of like the underdogs in the grand perspective of the Splatoon story.
The story is dark, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give spoilers or anything. I'm not even through the Octoling expansion. For now, because I can't like fully say, I'm gonna still go Inkling, mostly because I like they have the hairstyle that is most like mine in like almost any video game, which makes me happy. So
Ryan also has main character syndrome.
I do, and I'm sorry.
Any main character, always his favorite.
My character's not the main character, though. I'm one of many.
The distributed main character there.
Indeed.
I think I know which hairstyle you're talking about, and that's the reason that I'll be teaming Kling as well. It's not often you get the top swoosh here.
I know, right?
It even comes with a ponytail in the back, which I haven't pulled that off in a few
Aw.
years. But
I always cut mine before I could do like a good ponytail, mostly because I'm scared about it.
Aw. And then sometimes your hair gets to be orange.
Yeah, that's great. It's amazing.
yeah, that too. Oh my gosh, how often do you get to be the redhead? Oh,
I know,
Aw.
right? It's very true.
unless you're playing the villain, it's hard to be the redhead. Am I right?
Aw.
Oh, I grew up in the era of Disney villains and TV school bullies all having the red hair and thinking, when am I the hero?
Yeah. Feel bad. No.
That's okay.
Don't feel
okay. We still got Hercules. We got Ariel, kinda.
Oh
And
yeah.
we got two.
Well,
I was always compared to Ron Weasley.
Yep.
Which is kind of funny. Like when the 8th movie came out, 7 Part 2, we were at one of the first showings. Like we weren't super hardcore and went to the first showing. We weren't that cool. But I was bored because they let us in like about an hour early. So I went down in front and took my phone and started doing trivia for people. And I was dressed up in like a Hogwarts, school uniform type deal, whatever. And that was a ton of fun. And then like somebody just from the theater just yells out, "Gingers have no souls," and I'm like, oh, I feel so sad now. Oh man, be nice to people, please.
Please
Especially
do.
the redhead.
Please do. Just because South Park said it once doesn't mean it becomes fact, guys.
aw.
And don't
Yeah,
And don't you
John
forget,
Dee.
November 28th is Hug a Ginger Kid Day. November 28th.
Well.
Falls on the same day as Kick a Ginger Kid Day. So make sure you get to them first with the right holiday.
Yeah.
Or else stay
You can
defensive.
hug them,
Wear shoe
draw them in with
guards.
the hug, and then kick them.
No! Whose side are you on? Oh no!
Marriage over.
No!
Button City's canceled. No.
Oh no.
No, that-
Oh, what have
be
I
bad.
done? All right, we got a question from the chat from Is Not Short. What are your inspirations for the various character designs? And how often do you pull from real life peeps?
That's all you.
Yeah, so I designed all of the characters. So for the design aesthetics, a lot of it was very like Animal Crossing based, taking like funny little animals and dressing them up. But their personalities are they're a little bit of a mix of some people I might know or some people from like movies and just kind of like mashing together. And we really plan them out along like a dynamic because we have the 4 characters on each team and they all kind of have their own personality. And we really wanted to create just kind of a little like friend network where they fed off of each other and they all had their own different like, talents and different ways they interacted. So we kind of planned them out together. Besides Fen, he was the first one we made, and he was kind of like a blank slate at first. He was just like a fox, you know. But do you have anything, Ryan?
I'm trying to get Berlioz on the stream.
Second
Yeah,
cat.
double
No,
stream
he's
cat.
not. He's not.
You were
Sorry, I
doing
got
that.
super
I was
greedy
trying
'cause I
to
got- I
sample
saw the
over
cat.
cat too. Lucy, come over here. I think we were both doing the same thing. We didn't notice.
Sorry, you were asking me something?
Oh, I think I was gonna ask you about characters, but I thought the other Fen is a little bit like self-reflective. We tried to put some of our own perspectives in on him and how like we felt growing up or interacting with different people. And I really wanted to put a twist on like I don't know, it's like in movies and everything, it's like the one girl and the crew of boys for like the childhood stories. So it's flipped. So there's Fennel, and then the other three and the four are girls.
Hey. Awesome. Let's see here. That was my question, so that doesn't count. Ronan, I'm sorry for not mentioning you on stream. I've done so now. All right. I have got a question for you as I think of it right now. All right. So, are you working full-time game development right now or part-time? What does your daily life with games look like?
Do you want to go first? Or you...
I could go first. So I have a full-time job, and I work on Button City during the evenings. But like during my day job, I'm a web designer